Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Meeks, I rise today in strong opposition to H.R. 2633, the U.S. House-South African Bilateral Relations Review Act of 2025. This resolution does absolutely nothing to advance our bilateral relations with South Africa and, in fact, threatens to undermine it at a time when strengthening its relationship is crucial. This bill proposes a full review of our relationship with South Africa, and must I say, it's less than 30 years old before there was a segregated, apartheid-backed South African government that the United States was on the wrong side of the people of South Africa. This bill proposes a full review of our relationship, as long as is the focus on the South African government and ANC leaders for potential sanctions. This is not diplomacy, this is coercion. And it's based on a deeply flawed premise that ignores the complexities and international relationships and significant strides we've made together. Yes, we have differences with South Africa, particularly concerning the Russia-Ukraine conflict and the Israel-Hamas conflict. But let's be honest, South Africa's position on these conflicts is no different than some of our own allies. Are we questioning our relationship with our other allies that are Europeans? No, we continue to engage them through dialogue, seeking to win them over. Why should South Africa be treated any differently? This bill even South Africa's stance on the Israeli-Hamas conflict, accusing Israel of genocide. Yet, about 14 countries, including EU and NATO allies alike, like Spain, Italy, Ireland, are supporting South Africa's decision to file a suit in the International Criminal Court of Justice. Are we sanctioning Ireland, Spain, and Italy? The hypocrisy is glaring. Furthermore, let's not forget that President Trump himself went further than South Africa, falsely blaming Ukraine for starting the war and even accusing President Zelensky, calling President Zelensky a dictator without elections, according to the AP. This bill seeks to punish South Africa for positions, in some cases, that echo the sentiment even from within our own government or are shared by our closest allies. South Africa regards this bilateral relationship with the United States as founded on mutual respect and shared values for democracy and liberty. They are open and willing to deepen and expand cooperation through robust engagement. President Ramaphosa has recently dispatched cabinet members to Washington, D.C. for working visits, and meeting requests are being submitted to members of Congress from both sides of the aisle. The effort to reset strained relations are already underway. Congress must also allow diplomacy to play a central role in resolving political differences based on principles of international law, mutual respect for sovereignty. Such engagements will build upon our recent meetings with President Trump and President Ramaphosa. Consider our economic ties. South Africa is our largest U.S. trading partner in Africa, with a total of two-way trade that consumes over $20.5 billion in 2024. Over 600 U.S. American businesses are set up in South Africa and are being very prosperous. South Africa is a strategic partner, a strong democracy, a global voice committed to human rights. We collaborate on shared global policies, health, climate, trade, investment, education, and digital economy. Addressing challenges through mutual respect and respectful dialogues will yield enormous returns for Africa, where we have vital national security interests. The proposed H.R. 2633 will only lead to further tension and undermine the progress that's already being achieved. We cannot convince South Africa that international law doesn't matter and that only the United States law truly matters. This is not leadership, this is arrogance. I must say, as we sit here in these marbled walls of Congress and talk about a democracy, we've had less than a 30-year relationship with South Africa. This is a sovereign nation that chooses to have an independent point of view. They have suffered the most. We have been on the wrong side of exploiting them. The only people that have experienced a genocide and a dispossession of their land in South Africans have been the blacks in South Africa. There is no credibility, no truth to saying that white South Africans have experienced genocide. Those were manufactured pictures. We should have a level of humility, a level of decency, a level of integrity to stand up for what is right. South Africans have not been guilty of white genocide. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.